Paranoia Agent. I remember the show way back when I used to stay up past my bedtime watching anime on Adult Swim. I used to scramble for the remote trying to change the channel before the haunting image of the properly named Shonen Bat, or Little Slugger as he's called in the dub, would appear and haunt my dreams. To be fair, I was young, about 9 or so, but a mysterious little kid going around killing people with a bat has its own fearful demeanor, even now. And this mindfuck of a show was preluded by one of the most eerie intros in any anime. Anyone who's seen the show knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that intro. Where does one even start? From the creepy smiles to the weird music, this whole intro is embedded with eeriness up the ass. Like, why the hell are they laughing? It comes off so sadistic and insane, but this intro alone explains the whole show entirely. Crazy, disturbed, and downright weird. So let's venture into this mindfuck and see if we can come out sane. Paranoia Agent was directed by Kon Satoshi, who also directed Tokyo Godfathers and Paprika. It was produced by Madhouse, who also produced such masterpieces as Monster, Death Note, and of course, Chobits. Okay, maybe not Chobits, but I can have my guilty pleasures. The story takes place with a shy and reserved woman named Sagi Sakiko, who created an idol named Marumi, who is a pink dog and comes in toys, backpacks, and even slippers. And sometimes speaks to Sagi, but no big deal. The premise here is that Sagi needs to come up with another design, but is having a lot of trouble making a new one that will even match its predecessor. With a lot of pressure and stress, Sagi heads home to the dark alleys, which in itself seems like a bad idea. Here we're shortly greeted this creepy old-looking lady who also looks like Yubaba's mini-me from Spirited Away. It probably helps that Masashi Ando did the character design. She also did the character design for Princess Mononoke in Spirited Away, which you can tell the comparison between the character models. After encountering her, Sagi runs away from fear, like any normal human would. There she trips and we're met with Shonen Bat, who knocks her out and starts her storyline. Once she awakens, in comes the two detectives, Misahiro Maniwa and Kiichi Ikari. They, for the most part, are the ones who connect this convoluted plot and try to solve the case of Shonen Bat. After some questioning, Sagi is left alone and is given time off work to recover from her attack. News of her assault quickly reaches the press, and the name Shonen Bat is spread like wildfire, and quickly becomes pretty much a household name. Here's where we start to see the structure of the show. We delve into some backstory of some characters, seeing how life is hard or they wish they could have escaped, and then Shonen Bat, being the swell guy he is, knocks them out, answering their wishes. This continues on for most of the series, watching one person's story for only an episode or two, and then getting smacked in the hospital and barely being referenced afterwards. This can grow tiresome and even boring, especially if you liked one arc and are now forced to learn a new character. I'll accept Misahiro and Kiichi are some pretty interesting characters, even though they're made out to be the whole bad cop and good cop archetypes. Now, I'm all for character development, but they introduce each character so rapidly, it's somewhat hard to care what happens to each of them. Not only that, each story seems irrelevant to the main plot and even silly at times. I was hoping for some divine ending, combining all the seemingly pointless stories into one final conclusion, blowing my mind all over the computer screen. But sadly, there seems to be a little to no importance to each of them. Now, it sounds like I dreaded going through this anime, but I actually enjoyed a lot of the arcs. One of my favorite parts was episode 8, called Happy Family Planning. This episode centered around 3 people shunned from the world due to their differences, but they each decide to go online and start a suicide pact. Sounds normal. They meet up and go through many ways to try and kill themselves, but ultimately fail. This sets up some, oddly enough, pretty funny scenarios and slapstick humor. But one of the problems with this anime is just that though. The arcs tend to differ a lot, and even jump genres at times, leaving you greatly confused. But I guess that's what I was trying to do. This just bothers me personally, as I was looking for some kind of noir thriller with supernatural elements, and at first it kind of starts off with that. You're not completely sure of what's going on, and I really like that. I was starting to really get into this anime, but then it starts to drift off into this whole heap of weirdness, and it started to pull me back. You could pretty much watch one random episode and then another random episode after that and not be too confused. Now, if they came together at the end, I would have been satisfied. Really satisfied. But it doesn't. Instead, it leaves me with even more questions. In the last two episodes, holy shit, was that a huge batch of mindfuck. To this day, I'm still not 100% sure of what I just watched. It looked like this anime was going for either a symbolic message or even a literal one. It's honestly up to you, and as it seems, there's no clear ending. Now, I'm one to embrace art that makes you think, but this one is far too off for me, and I hate implied endings. And I mean, I hate implied endings. I need to know exactly what happens. I didn't write the story, the writer did, and this pisses me off. I have no clue if my idea of the ending is canon or not, so by that logic, I don't know what the ending is. I can't really talk about the ending in depth like I would like to, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who wants to watch it. I will say though, the climax for Kiichi at the end was pretty amazing. For Misahiro though, that's a different story. The story and all was, well, weird. The word just about sums up this whole anime. It's hard to even critique it when I have no clue what I just went through. I guess it's just that. It really did mess with my head. I myself was paranoid watching this bizarre fuck, and if that's what it wanted, then it sure did it. The characters, though, phased through like a slasher film, were really interesting, and held their own uniqueness. None of them were forgettable and had their own intriguing backstories. Again, that was part of the problem. I never truly got to know each character, and some were better than others, but even through that, I have to give approval to the character designers. The animation was beautiful and fluid, looking like some of the best stuff from its time period. The movement was really synced with what they said and weren't just mouth flaps like a lot of other animes. Even the characters looked great, or not great, I should say. No one was particularly good looking, if I may say, and resembled a more normal looking group of people. From the shading and the color palette, this anime has my praise on this part. The music fit the mood like it should, but never really stuck out to me, at least not until the end. And least we forget. Anyways. There isn't too much to say about this music for me, but the voice acting was top notch, with a great cast, and all with their own massive list of animes they've been in, you can't go wrong. My personal favorite was Daisuke Sakaguchi, who voiced Shonen Bat. He didn't really get many lines, but he did voice none other than Sunahara from Clannad, so I may just be a tad bit biased on this. The dub cast, well, was good comparatively to other dubbed animes, which tend to be god-awful. There is Michelle Ruff, though, who voiced Chi and Chobits in the dubbed version, so there's that. To sum it all up, I guess it was an intriguing story, but not one I was too satisfied with. I just wish it could have made a more hammered-in ending, instead of leaving it up to you. The twist was a decent one, you get a lot of hints about it, so the build-up to it's kind of a letdown. If you want to go on a best-described mindfuck, then go right ahead and watch it, but for me, I would have passed. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't a bad anime, and I know there's a lot of fans out there for it. It just didn't really get to me, and especially that ending, man. I can't explain how much I don't like implied endings. And also, I feel like it just got off course a lot, and it should just stick to one basic style. I always like it when a show likes to do something new that other shows haven't done, especially with anime, because we all know how stale those can get. But this one just took a weird path for me, and one that I just couldn't follow. Again, don't let me deter you from this anime. If you really do seem interested in it, try it out. Maybe you'll get more of the meaning than I did. But for me, I probably won't be watching this again in my near future.